Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another exciting edition of the Saturday Night Wine Stream on a Saturday night and another exciting episode of Drink with Rick. I'm Rick, and tonight we are going to try a wine from, this is another budget wine. Remember last week we tried out a budget wine that was a Cabernet, and I really liked that wine. So tonight we're gonna try two for two here. We're gonna go for a wine that's under $6. You know, we're all sitting in our homes, we're stuck in our homes, and a lot of us on really tight budgets, but we still want to enjoy some of the finer things in life. Boy, that was a slip. The finer things in life, and so to do that, I'm choosing some of the less expensive wines, the more budget-friendly wines that are still good. We're going to try this one out. I have never tried this one before, as far as I can recall, but we're going to try it tonight and see how it does. See if it's a wine worth drinking and worth pairing with food. So we're going to try it out. If you're just joining me for the first time, I want to welcome you to the live stream, the wine stream, on this Saturday night. Of course, I'm Rick, and the host of Drink with Rick on the Saturday Night Wine Stream. You can watch this live at drinkwithrick.com. That's our website, drinkwithrick.com. And, of course, we'll have the email right here. You can contact me at the email address down below. We're also live on Facebook, on our Facebook page at Drink with Rick. We're also live on YouTube. Go to Drink with Rick on YouTube, and you'll find it there. And so you can join me in the chat there if you're not into Facebook at all. We're also on Twitch. If you're a gamer or if you like to watch cooking shows on Twitch or food shows on Twitch, you can find it on Twitch. It's Drink with Rick 1 on Twitch. Also on Periscope, we're on Twitter. You can go to Twitter at Drink with Rick. That's the Twitter. That's our Twitter account, Drink with Rick, at Drink with Rick. And you can watch there in some areas, although I did notice earlier that it said it was not available in my area. I'm not sure what that means. I don't know, maybe Twitter is throttling back in some places. I don't know. But if you cannot watch this on Twitter, let me know. We are, of course, on the website at Drink with Rick. Now, the only difference is on the website, I do not have a chat set up. So if you want to chat with me, you can chat with me here on Facebook, on the Facebook page, on YouTube, on Twitch, and you can tweet me on Twitter. But if you click on the page where where tonight's stream is originating from, the actual page, load that up, you can get into a comment box down below and you can leave me some comments. I love to hear from you. I love to hear from everyone who watches the stream. And of course, if you get into the chat, I hope you stick around the chat because we're going to be giving away, I'm planning to give away a book in the chat tonight, maybe another item or two. We'll see how that plays out. See how many people will get in the chat tonight. First of all, I want to say hi to my good friend Everett. Everett has joined us in the chat on Facebook. Everett, it's great to see you, my friend. It's been a long time. Everett and I go way back to WOFL, our days at Channel 35. And I worked with him for many years. Great guy. And we've been friends for a long time. And Everett, it's good to see you. Stick around. Tell me what you're drinking. Tell me what you're not drinking. Tell me what you'd like to see me drinking. And, just tell me how you're doing. Tell me how everything is going on. Let me check Twitch, see if we have anyone on Twitch. Nothing going on Twitch right now. Let's see. Nothing going on Facebook right now, but we're there. So I'm keeping an eye on everything, folks. I know in the past some Twitch viewers have sort of noted that I'm not catching the comments, but I'm watching closely tonight. So we're going to try to remedy that. So let's before we go too much farther, let me introduce the wine for tonight. And tonight we're going to be drinking this. That's the back end. We're going to be drinking this Salmon Creek. I don't know, you pronounce it Salmon or Salmon. My wife pronounces it Salmon. I just pronounce it badly. Salmon Creek. This is a 2016 Pinot Noir from California. I believe this is from Sonoma in California. And this is a This wine is a very, very inexpensive wine that I picked up at Winestore in Blakeney a couple of weeks ago, and Blakeney here in North Carolina and in the Charlotte area. And they're really, really nice people. They're great folks. I've got a little story to tell you about that later on in the stream. So we'll see how that goes. And James, how you doing? I'm glad to see you. Enter the chat. Tell me how you're doing. Tell me how your family's doing. Hope everybody's doing all right and everyone's safe in this pandemic. And hopefully this can take our minds off of things just a little bit. Just to have a little respite, because I tell you what, when you're sitting around all week, stuck at home and listening to the news, it's all kind of grim. But it's just nice to be able to have a little break from that. Okay, let's take a look at the wine. And Mike Dell has joined us in the chat. Mike, it's great to see you. I'm glad you're here. Stick around, my good friend Mike Dell. Mike is from Blueberry. He does tech support at Blueberry. Good friend of mine, and also a ham radio operator, as I am, and as my son Tommy is. Mike's a great guy, and he works very, very hard along with the other folks at blueberry.com for all you podcasters. He's a great guy to talk to if you're just starting a podcast or wanting to move into podcasting or go into a podcast host like Blueberry. He's very, very knowledgeable and helpful in what he does. Anyway, back to the wine. Mike, stick around. Tell me how you're doing, by the way. And Mike says, hi, Rick. And hi right back at you, Mike. It's good to see you. Let me get back to the wine for just a minute, and we'll jump back into the chat. So this is the Salmon Creek 2016 Pinot Noir California wine. And let me read a little bit about the back of this wine. It's kind of interesting. There's not a whole lot online on this wine. There's a little bit, but the research I did, it's kind of interesting. It says, for those of you who can't read it there, Salmon Creek Cellars produces wines for the most discriminating diner. Our handcrafted wines come from California's finest vineyards and are made exclusively for restaurants and hotels throughout the world where wines of this quality are expected. We hope to have made your dining experience a little more enjoyable. Bon appetit. And this is cellared and bottled by Salmon Creek Cellars in Sonoma, California. And there is, let's see, how much? What's the content here? And I thought I saw the content on here. Oh, it's on the front of the label actually. You can't really see it too well. It's 12.5%, 12.5% alcohol by volume in this 750 milliliter bottle of wine. So. The thing about Salmon Creek, I did a little checking on this, and before we open, we're going to open it up and taste it and pair it with some foods. As a matter of fact, I have a couple of interesting foods to pair it with tonight. Now, Pinots go great with a wide variety of foods. They do. So we have, tonight I have to pair it with, I have some fried chicken. You got to be careful about fried chicken and red wines, and I'll explain that as we get down into it. You got to be a little careful with fried foods and red wines. They generally, some of them go better with whites, maybe a Pinot Gris or something might be a better choice. But we'll open this up. We'll try it out. If it's not too tannic, then it will probably be okay with this. We have some turkey pepperoni, which should go fine with it technically, because it should go good with salamis and meats like that. And of course, I have some cheddar cheese. This is I think this is not Pepperidge Farms. What's that other one? Hickory Farms cheddar cheese. And then I have some. This is I think it's a Colby Jack cheese, and I do not have any more of the Gouda that I love so much, the Trader Joe's Creamy Gouda, which has been a winner on every wine we've tried so far for the last 14 or 15 wines. Mike says, drinking beer here tonight. Well, that's okay too. That's quite all right. This show is called Drink with Rick, so it's not critical that you have to be drinking wine. You can be drinking. Can you guys hear me okay? Also my audio on this end. It's not critical that you be drinking wine. You can drink beer. You can drink anything you want. Tea, coffee, whatever it is. You can drink it. I think I just lost my audio here for just a minute. Let me see if I can get it back. There we go. That's just my earpiece, I think. I just have to be careful moving them around. Okay, but you guys can hear me okay, right? Good. I'm on a 15-second delay or 20-second delay with Facebook because I like to listen back over the internet because I do not trust. Now, see, I could be running this through all my gear here, but I don't do that when I'm on the live stream. I like to listen back over Facebook because Facebook in the past has been a little problematic sometimes for audio issues, and I want to be able to hear how it sounds to you guys on your end. So that's why I'm on a little delay here. But over the years, I've gotten used to talking with the delay. So a lot of people have trouble doing that. It's like it really confuses them. And when I was younger, I had that issue too. But after doing that for a long time, I've learned to sort of tune that out a lot. So the delay is not too bad. It's like a 15 or 20-second delay. Anyway, so back to the wine. Let me check here before we got. Let's see who's on. Anybody on Twitch? Not yet. And YouTube. We're good. We're all good there. Okay, so where was I? Oh, yes, it was the wine. The Salmon Creek, this is a Pinot Noir, and it's, I did a little checking around, and price-wise, I'll tell you, I got the notes, I got the tasting notes from the, let's see, from the winery itself, and where is it? Here it is. No, that's not it. Where are my tasting notes? It's somewhere here. Okay, lost my tasting notes. Anyway, this has to do with, it's the one sheet that they send you to about the wine, to promote the wine, talk about how great it is. So let's see. No, that's not responding there. There we go. And my all right. So wait, here we go. Well, anyway, basically, it comes from California, from Sonoma Valley, and it's supposed to be lightly tannic, which is why I chose the chicken tonight that we had at dinner. So hopefully it'll be okay. I checked around for pricing on this, and the pricing was rather it was all over the place. It was all over the place. Let me get back to that page here. It is $4.99 in let's see, total wine $4.99, and in some other places they had M&R Liquors. That's up in Connecticut. That's $10.99 a bottle. And Wine and Liquor Outlet in Connecticut had it for $10.99 a bottle. And let's see, there was another store here that had it for $6.99. Now, this is what I paid for my bottle of wine. I purchased it at Winestore, winestore-online.com. And they don't ship to every state, but they ship to quite a few states. I paid $5.95 for this 750 milliliter bottle of wine. So without further ado, and Mike says I'll have to send you some Traverse City wine, wine as in WHINE. Let me go ahead and open this, and we'll get to tasting. And Mike, you can send me a bottle of wine. In fact, if anyone who wants can send me a bottle of wine, and I will give it a fair review, a fair and honest review. And I'll drink the wine, taste it, test it, and I'll be happy to do that. And I have received free bottles of wine on occasion, but I've always given my disclaimer that I got it for free when I did so that you know that I'm giving a free review. Anyway, so we have this, we have the foil cutter done, and I'm going to open this up with my handy dandy corkscrew, mechanical corkscrew. Let me move it. Well, I'd like to move it over this way a little bit. There we go. Let's try that. And there we go. It's easy enough. It's always a little awkward from this angle. You really should be standing up when you're doing this, and I do it from a sitting position for obvious reasons. But we've got it open, and of course, to aerate it, I have my Trusty Aerator from the Veneto Wine Lover set, which, by the way, you can purchase it on the site. I've got a link on my website at drinkwithrick.com where you can actually purchase the whole set for $19.99. I think the aerator by itself goes for about $12.99, $13.99, something like that. We gave a couple of these away during the holidays on the live stream, so I know that, and from what I understand, everyone who received one is enjoying their aerator, as I do mine. And of course, to pour it, to hold the wine, we have this wonderful, genuine crystal glass. It's Irish crystal, and this was a gift from me. This Galway Irish crystal. It was a gift to me from the owners of BuyTwoBeerRadios.com, Danny and Charity, my employers. We're going to go ahead and pour this wine and see how it looks. And we're going to give it a little whiff and give it a little taste. Okay, I'll just pour a little bit there for starters. We'll let it breathe for a minute or two. And of course, I already went through some of the wine specs on this wine. But, and I can get the aroma here, as a matter of fact. Let me check the chat one more time and see what we have going on in the chat. Mike's there with us, and he says, can't type tonight. Mike, I'm with you. Especially after some wine. It's wine. It's WINE, Traverse City Wine. Send me some. Yes, definitely. I'll give it a fair review. I'll drink it and enjoy it, and I'll toast you. So, let's see. The Salmon Creek. This is the Pinot Noir. Let me pull it up. I can smell it from here. It's I can smell the cherry. I can smell the cherry in this one right off the bat. Let me see. Yep, cherry. And then this is red cherry, not really black cherry that I'm detecting. And a little bit of strawberry I can smell. Let's give it a taste. Oh yeah. The cherry, hint of strawberry, some blackberry too, not surprising, blackberry, and a little oaky, just a little bit oaky. A hint of oak. It's kind of oaky, but not bad, not real strong. Maybe a little hint of vanilla too. Red and black fruits. Not unexpected of a Pinot. Now the thing is about this Pinot is that it has a decent finish. It's not a lot of aftertaste, but it does have a nice light finish. This is kind of a medium-bodied wine. I want to say it's not really bold. It's not real light. It's kind of a medium-bodied wine. Kind of smooth. There are some tannins, but it's not highly tannic, and that's what I was hoping for because we're going to try it. Now, there are some tannins in here, so it might still be a little tannic for the fried chicken. We'll see. But it's dry, but it's kind of a medium as far as being acidic is concerned. It's kind of a light to medium acidity that I can tell. Kind of now I'm getting a little bit of chocolate in there. Let me see. Ooh. Just a hint of chocolate, I think. We're going to pair it with some foods here. But before we do that, let me check back into the chat and see who we've got in the chat. And let's see. Chat's kind of quiet tonight. And James, I think if you're still there, jump in and say hi and tell me how you're doing. And let's see, and also anyone who wants to join. Lano T. Lano T, is that how I'm pronouncing that right? This is on Twitch. Lano T says greetings. And greetings, Lana T. I hope you're doing well tonight. I hope you're doing fine. Under the circumstances, I mean, we're all kind of stuck at home, right? And under circumstances, but this is a respite from that, from all the bad news and everything. It's just a chance to just kind of kick back on a Saturday night, just kind of relax, share some wine. That's what the show is about. By the way, if you're joining me for the first time, this show is not a really structured show, although I do have some show notes, and I have some right here. This is not a tightly structured show. This is all pretty much, it's not scripted, it's pretty much ad-lib. This is a complete 180 from other podcasts and shows that I do. This is completely off the cuff. This is a stream of consciousness kind of show. And I do have some show notes, but I don't always adherely strict to them. Sometimes I'll go way off on tangents and things like that, especially when I get in the chat talking with people. We go off on different tangents and stuff. That's what I like to do, and that's what it's about. This show is not about me. This show is about the wine somewhat, a little bit about the wine. We do talk about wine, but the show is really about you and me together, just having a great time, just kicking back on a Saturday night and just relaxing and just chatting, just having a great time. And that's what the show is about. Let's see, anything else going on? Nothing on Twitter, I think. Nothing on... quiet on YouTube, and that's expected. YouTube is all usually kind of quiet for me. We'll get a couple of people in there from time to time, but it's usually kind of quiet. The action is usually on the other platforms. So, and Mike, let's see, I missed something there, the new comment. Okay, there we go. Mike says, spending more time on the ham radio here. You know what, Mike, I'm with you there, and I think a lot more hams are doing that as well. They're finding themselves at home more. I have found, I've been listening to some of the nets. I haven't had a chance to get on any this weekend yet, but I've been listening on some of the local 2-meter nets, and they've been fairly active. They've been fairly active. We have a 440. We have a 77-meter net up there. I was switching around. It was actually, and it's usually pretty quiet. And I was surprised to hear a lot of activity going on there. So people are stuck at home and they want to communicate. And the thing is about ham radio. Even if you're not a ham, it's very, very social. And amateur radio guys are used to social. They've been practicing social distancing for decades. Am I right, Mike? We've been practicing social distancing for eons. And Mike says the HF frequencies have been busy. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it on HF. I'm sure it's been really, really crowded there, and a lot to talk about, and a lot of people to talk to. The thing is that the hams have never really been lonely online, so to speak. And this is, for some hams who are also preppers, this is actually an opportunity for them to kick back and say, "Hey, I'm done prepping for this. I'm ready for this kind of emergency. I've prepped for it for years, and now I'm just going to kick back and relax and just kind of watch the world go by and get on my radio." And that's that they're ahead of the game. A lot of them have been ahead of the game on this. While everyone's out there fighting over toilet paper, some of the hands have been, and some of the preppers have just been sitting back and, opening up their bag of popcorn or their MREs, the meals ready to eat, things like that, and just watching the entertainment, I guess, in their opinion. Although it is not entertaining, this has been a really, just to be serious here, this is a pretty serious situation, and I'm not making light of it at all. This is really, really serious, and it's getting more and more so every day. But let's, like I said, the show's a little respite from that, so let's do something a bit more. Let's switch gears a little bit, get back into doing something a little bit more relaxing here. And let's go ahead and pair it with some foods. Now, of course, after we pair it with the foods, I'm going to give some birthday greetings out. We're going to toast some birthdays, some anniversaries. I'm also planning to give away a copy, or at least we're going to start the process of, if we get enough people in the chat. Now, this is if we get enough people in the chat tonight, we're going to start the process of doing a giveaway for Chris Krimitsos, a copy of Chris Krimitsos' books, Start Ugly, which I have given a couple of copies away on this show before in the past. We're going to give away another copy. We're going to try to anyway if we get enough people in the chat to participate in this. Anyway, so tonight I have this. We're going to try it first with the fried chicken. I'm not expecting much from this, to be honest, folks, because the fried chicken, the cheese, my wife, her homemade fried chicken's really, really good. I had a little piece of it earlier tonight. But whether it pairs with this wine or not, I can't really say. Fried foods, you really need sort of a white and more of I want to say sparkling white, but more that's got a little more. It's really more of a bubbly kind of white wine to go with something like this. I didn't want to use that word either, but it's good with some whites, depending on the white. But a dry red you have to be careful with, because you want something that's not too acidic. You want something that's where it's going to balance it out, but you don't want something too tannic, because the tannins in that wine is really not a great pairing with some fried foods. So I'm going to give this a try. And it's kind of cold because it's been sitting out for a while. And the chicken is good, by the way. Great chicken. And it is good. Now let's try it with wine. It's not bad with the fried chicken. It's not bad, but I think it would be better. I think it would go much, much better with a rotisserie chicken. I think this wine would pair pretty much well with a baked or rotisserie chicken. I think that would be the winning ticket. However, let's try it. Let's try it with the pepperoni. That should work okay. We're going to try it with the pepperoni. Let me put a little more in the glass here. And we'll try it out here. Oh yeah, much better with pepperoni. I should try that again. I need to try that again. And if you haven't eaten dinner, folks, I apologize. I don't mean to eat in front of you. Grab something to eat. Mike, you got beer there? A lot of foods that go well with beer. You know, fried chicken goes great with beer. Am I wrong? Fried chicken goes great with beer. Yeah, pepperoni's okay. Yeah, I like that. It's much better pairing. Let's try it with the cheese now. I'm going to try it with the this is the Colby Jack. Now it's kind of a creamy cheese. It's not sharp. It's kind of light, medium cheese actually. It should be okay. And it is. You know, I could have this wine by itself, but I could have this with cheese. Just break out a pack of this cheese and have wine, have just my own little cheese and wine tasting going on. It'd be quite all right. Let's try it with the cheddar. This is the Hickory Farms cheddar. And it's kind of a medium cheddar. It's not sharp. It's not light. It's just kind of a medium cheddar cheese. It should be all right. Very good. Very good. I'm going to try that again. The medium cheddar here, I think, really the wine makes it creamier. I think it makes the cheese creamier. Very good. First of all, it's a pretty good cheddar on its own, but the wine really, really brings out the flavor. Yeah, I do like that. I like that very much. Very, very good. I have a little dessert to try this with later, but we'll save that towards the end of the stream here. I've got a little special dessert, and if you guys are up to it, maybe I'll give a box of it away. I don't know, my last box. We'll see. I talked about it a couple of weeks ago, but I got this box sitting here, and I don't want it to go to waste. Mike says, I just had a fried chicken wing. I love chicken wings. Is it's fried chicken wing, or is it buffalo wings? Good hot wings. Good hot wings go good with a number of different wines and beers, by the way. Fried chicken wing, if it's regular fried chicken, yeah, I should, just about any beer will work with that. And some dark lagers. I like some dark beers too. I like a lot of, I know there are people who like IPAs and some lighter beers, but I like a lot of the dark beers, and some of them go really, really good with chicken, with fried chicken, and chicken wings, by the way, as a matter of fact. So we got that out of the way. Let's go ahead and toast some birthdays and anniversaries. Actually, I only have one birthday to toast tonight and an anniversary, but we'll go ahead and get to that. I have first up. Let me check the chat real quick for anything else. And Lana T, tell me what you're drinking. Tell me how you're doing, by the way. And nothing going on YouTube. Mike says porter from North Peak. Oh, you know what, Mike? I like a good porter. Mike says just fired for the fried chicken. Oh, it says. Let's see, porter from North Peak. I think fried chicken goes pretty good. Just fired? You mean just fried, right? You were right about the typing thing, right? I was going to say you weren't just fired. I hope not. They need you over there. Yeah, you know, they can't run that operation without you, and you're much needed over there. But porter from North Peak. Okay, just fried and porter from North Peak. Porter goes pretty good with fried chicken, and I like a good porter. I know some people who don't care for them much, but I happen to like them. They're pretty good beers. Fry. Mike says fry. It was just he was just clarifying that. That's good. That's good. That's good. So hit the wrong one there. There we go. Anyway, where were we? Oh yes, birthdays. First of all, I want to give out a birthday toast. As a matter of fact, if anyone here is having a birthday or an anniversary anytime soon, as a matter of fact, Mike, I think I've toasted your birthday before on the wine stream in the past. May or may not have been there to see that one, but I have toasted your birthday, I believe, in the past. Birthdays. Let's see. I want to toast my good friend and coworker Robert Price. Rob, this is for you. Happy birthday. Rob and I go way back. Now Rob works. He works in the sales department at BuyTwoWayRadios.com, sales manager there. He's a sales manager at Buy2Way Radios, and he has been there for a little bit longer than me. As a matter of fact, I think Robert was hired a couple of weeks before I was, and I'm coming up on my 10-year anniversary. So Rob, if you're watching later, you must be pretty close to your 10 years now. But so we might have an anniversary toast there shortly. He was hired, I think, couple of weeks before I was, and he's a great guy. He's a really great guy. He's into a lot of things. I'll tell you about Rob. He is a very enterprising person, very enterprising guy, and he does well pretty much at everything he does. And he's also he's an excellent sales guy, and he does a lot of support there as well. Mike, you and Rob are kindred spirits in that sense, because Rob does a lot of support there as well at Buy2Way Radios, and he works hard. He's a hard worker, and very, very well liked there. He just had his birthday Friday, and I want to give a special toast to my good friend and coworker Rob. And I'm going to toast you again, Rob, just because I can, because you're worth it. It's to my good friend Rob Price. Happy birthday. And I know under the circumstances, you'd probably want to do a little more celebrating out on the town, but under the circumstances, we can't really do that. So I hope you're having a great birthday at home, safe and sound. So Rob. And an anniversary. We have an anniversary here to some other friends of mine, Greg and Sherry Colley. They are celebrating 29 years of marriage. 29. I think they've known each other for 34, and they've been married for 29 of those, I believe. But here's to Greg and Sherry. Sherry and my sister Gina. You know, my sister Gina. She's been a regular here in the past on the wine stream, and one of the persons who actually helped. You know, she was one of the reasons I launched the wine stream in the first place about a year ago. It was her suggestion, along with some of her friends and my sister Penny, to review the very first wine that we review, the collections from Target. And Sherry and Gina are best friends. They were best friends ever since school, I guess like middle school, grade school, middle school. And she and Sherry, and I knew Sherry as well, a friend of Sherry's, and we go way back to when we were all kids together growing up. And Sherry is a really nice person, great person. She's been very patient. And Sherry, if you're watching later, she was very patient with me. Sherry was, as Gina's brother. She was very patient with me, and I do appreciate that. And I always liked it. And look, and let you know, Sherry, I always liked you. I always thought you were really a great person, and I think a good choice of a best friend for my sister Gina, and I'm proud to also call you my friend. Here's to Greg and Sherry, 29 years, happy anniversary. And again, the toast twice, just because I can. Here's to Greg and Sherry Colley, 29 years, happy anniversary. So I don't have a whole lot going on with the birthdays. Usually we have quite a few more birthdays and some more anniversaries, but it's been kind of quiet. But we have a lot of birthdays coming up in the next couple of weeks. So I'm gonna get the wine ready, and we'll do that in the next week. Now, having said that, with the notes here, let's get to the national days, because that's kind of fun too. We've got some national days coming up, and I'm going to let me close out some of this here. All right, national days. We've got, where is my national day calendar here? It's right here. There we go, for April. And of course, what I'm doing is I'm looking at the nationaldaycalendar.com. This is online, nationaldaycalendar.com. This is Marlo Anderson's site. Marlo Anderson is the CEO. He's a friend of mine, and CEO of National Day Calendar. And these are what I use to toast. And I've got one of his calendars, one of his physical calendars on the wall here in our house. And we gave one away. We gave one away to during the holidays. For the National Days, National Day Calendar 2020. Anyway, for April 4th, it's April 4th for another hour and 15 minutes. National Chicken Cordon Bleu Day. National Chicken Cordon Bleu Day. And so this is to National Chicken Cordon Bleu. Have you ever had chicken cordon bleu? I'm trying to remember when the last time I had it. And let's see. I don't know. Mike, you ever had chicken cordon bleu? It's chicken cordon bleu. Actually it might go pretty well with this Pinot. Actually, might not be bad. Here's chicken cordon bleu day. And let's see. I'm coming right back to the chat here in just a moment. Let's see. We'll go back to National Hug a News Person Day. National Hug a News Person Day. Okay. Jeep 4x4 Day. I don't own a Jeep, but my friend Rob does. Rob, who we just hosted, he has a Jeep. That's what he drives. He likes Jeeps. I think he's had a couple of them. But Jeep 4x4 Day. National School Librarian Day. And you know what? My school librarian was kind of cool. Like National School Librarian Day. And National Vitamin C Day. Have you had your vitamin C today? Mike, you guys had your vitamin C today? How about you, Lena T? Have you had your vitamin C today? Very, very important, particularly while we're all shut in. You want to keep up with your vitamin C, your vitamin D. Very, very important. I'm not a doctor and I don't play one on TV, but I have heard that more vitamins can help keep you healthier, which goes without saying. It really does. So I'm trying to take my vitamin C. National Vitamin C Day. I did not know there was a day for vitamin C. I wonder if there's one for vitamin D. National Walk Around Things Day. This is National Walk Around Things Day. So you have things you walk around. I don't know. I didn't click on the thing, and it's National Walk Around Things Day. Whatever. If I see, we were walking our dog yesterday, and he made a deposit at the First National Bank of Cosmo. That's our dog's name. I wanted to walk around that, but I had to pick it up because that's the rule in our HOA. I had to pick it up. That's too much information, right? Okay, National Walk Around Things Day. By the way, this is our dog Cosmo. He's actually Tommy's dog. Tommy, our son, who is a podcaster also. This is his dog. He's a cockapoo. He's 13 years old. Cute as a button. He loves his walks. He loves to play ball. As you can see, he loves his ball. He loves to play with his toys and things like that. And he's just a great little guy. Just great little dog. So that's Cosmo. Anyway, it's National Love Our Children Day. That's the first Saturday in April. National Love Our Children Day. Look, I'll drink to that, and I'll drink to that twice because I have two of them, 2 kids. I love my kids. They're great people. And I mentioned my daughter Tia is a very, very talented artist. She has designed and she did all of the, the Drink with Rick titles and slides and all the artwork and things. She did that. She's designed and done the artwork for my son Tommy, who is also a podcaster. I've been podcasting for about 14 years. Tommy's been podcasting for 10, and he's a second generation podcaster. And she's done the artwork for his podcasts and his streams and things like that. Very talented artist. She did this. I showed you this last week. She did this as a tribute to nurses everywhere. And of course, my wife, my lovely wife, she is a nurse. She's an RN, BSN. And my daughter did this as a tribute to nurses last week. I'm showing it here again because I still had it here in the loaded up in the system. But both my kids are very, very talented, and they're great kids. They're great kids, and we love them very much. Here's to National Love Our Children Day. National Handmade Day, first Saturday in April. Now, this is kind of fortuitous because, there a lot of people are hand making. I hate to bring this back up again because I know we're supposed to be sort of taking a break from all the COVID-19 stuff, but National Handmade Day, first Saturday in April. The thing is, a lot of people are doing their own handmade. I was just say the masks the breathing masks, the face masks. My wife is actually downstairs right now making homemade face masks, breathing masks. And she has a lot of experience with masks and what goes into them and things like that because she works in the industry. So she works in the healthcare industry, so she has a really intricate knowledge of what is required to make a good mask. So she's down there sewing her own for us, as a matter of fact. And I think doing a fabulous job. I don't have a picture to show you, but maybe next week I will. But and while we're all stuck at home, I think this is actually just the timing on this is interesting because National Handmade Day. I know people who have printers, who have 3D printers and stuff. They're making their own face masks and things like that. They're doing all this kind of stuff and some of them are donating some of that to first responders and other people in the healthcare industry. Some of them are doing it for themselves, but they're making their own gear. PPE, personal protection gear, and they're making their own with 3D printers. I've considered getting a 3D printer. I mentioned that to my wife the other day, and she thinks it's a good idea. We'll see how that works. And Mike, let me get back to the chat for a minute. And Mike says Founder's Breakfast Stout is good too. Founder's Breakfast Stout. I gotta remember that. Try that. I like a good stout beer. Founder's Breakfast Stout. That sounds pretty good. Mike says 15 years in podcast for me next week. Oh, you know what, Mike? I tell you what, let's toast that. And we'll toast you again next week. But my friend Mike Dell, he's been podcasting for 15 years. It's about a year longer than me. And I know because I've listened to a number of his podcasts over the years. He's doing a couple right now, as a matter of fact, and he does one with Todd Cochran over there at Blueberry. But he does his own, and he's done some on ham radio. And I think the first one I listened to was Geek of the North. I think it was one of the first I listened to. Mike, here's to you. 15 years in podcasting. Congratulations. Congratulations. Happy anniversary. I want to hear more podcasters come in here and give me their anniversaries. I'll definitely toast them. I think that's a huge achievement, Mike. It really is. Congratulations. Congratulations on that. He said he wouldn't. Mike says he wouldn't hug anyone right now. Yeah, I know. That goes without saying, I guess, under the circumstances. Anyway, let's see. We'll get back here. National Handmade Day. So here's the National Handmade Day. I'm going to do a lot of toasting tonight, folks. I hope you have a lot of beer or whatever it is you're drinking, because we're going to do a lot of toasting. Let's toast that together. Here's another one that seems to be kind of a coincidence. I don't know. This is National Education and Sharing Day. Now, it changes annually. April 4th, 2020. National Education and Sharing Day. Now, the thing is, a lot of us are kind of stuck at home. A lot of the schools are closed all around the country. And all of a sudden, a lot of parents are finding themselves homeschooling their kids, or doing a lot of the kids are finding themselves doing a lot of online classes, which is a big adjustment for them, or a combination of the two. It's putting a strain on bandwidth across the country, apparently, because a lot of people working at home, like both my wife and I are right now, and all the kids staying at home doing schoolwork. Both my son and my daughter, Tommy and Tia, both they are attending classes. Tommy's in his last semester of classes at CPCC. He's about to graduate in another month or so, or actually next month, I think. My daughter Tia is also enrolled in classes at CPCC, and they're both doing online classes. Now, their classes were, I think Tommy's class, most of his were online already anyway, so it wasn't a big jump for him. But I think one of his classes, I think he had the astronomy class. So one of his classes was he had to go on site to the campus. And Tia's class, her one of her classes was on site on the campus as well. And now they're both having to do it all from home, which is kind of adjustment. It's not that big of a deal. It saves some gas, saves some time, saves some commute back and forth. But it still takes some getting used to. So we're experiencing that here with their classes, and of course the added bandwidth, because here's the thing, during the day, both my wife and I are home working right now, and both of us require a fair amount of bandwidth for that, and both of them are actually doing a class online at the same time, so we're using a lot of bandwidth in the house. Now, plus afterwards, it's required us to do a little adjusting, but afterwards, Tommy's streaming his show, his podcasts, and his live streams, and of course I do mine on Saturday nights, which usually they all have to stay off their stuff while we're doing this to keep the bandwidth up. But during the day, it kind of limits me as to what I can do streaming wise if I want to do anything else. So last week or so, we did an episode of the Two-Way Radio Show, and we had to do that remotely. That's the one I do for my day job by Two-Way Radios. And I had to declare, I couldn't ask Chi to get off her computer because that was required. She was working. But the kids, they kind of had to not be doing anything while I did this. And it was still a little spotty, bandwidth-wise, but we got it done. But it's been a strain, like I said, it's been a strain on everyone here. With everybody at home and doing everything on the internet, school and work and everything else. So they've had to limit some of their other stuff, their recreational stuff. We've had to limit them on that quite a bit because of the bandwidth issues. It's, it is what it is, to use an overused phrase. But here's the National Education Sharing Day. Tomorrow on April 5th is First Contact Day. Okay, now this is interesting. First Contact, this is actually a day that's supposed to be reserved for the day that we make first contact with aliens. I mean, aliens from outer space. Okay, I'm not making this up. This is actually, I looked this up earlier, and First Contact Day is commemorates the day that we make first contact with aliens from outer space. April 5th. Hey, look, we have a Talk Like a Pirate Day, right? We have Talk Like a Pirate Day. We have that. I guess we can have a First Contact Day, I suppose. April 5th is also Gold Star Spouses Day. I'll drink to that. And National Caramel Day. I will definitely drink to that. But I'm going to drink to all this all at once because I don't want to go too far down the bottom. Yeah, maybe I've had too much already. I don't want to go too far down too fast. National Deep Dish Pizza Day is also tomorrow. That's a good idea. I'm going to have to suggest. Chi, are you watching? Are you National Deep Dish Pizza Day. You know what? We went to Podfest, and as a matter of fact, I saw my good friend Mike at Podfest 2020 in Orlando. We were there last month, early March, and Tommy and I, on the last day that we were there, just before we left, we shared a pizza at the hotel. And since then, and the month since then, we have not had a pizza, which is very unusual, very unusual. Now, granted, when we got back, everybody came down with the flu, and it was the flu, just the influence of the flu. But since then, we have not had a pizza. I thought about that. We haven't had pizza in a month. That's very unusual for our family. So we're going to have to make up for that. So, Chi, hint, hint, maybe it's time to celebrate National Deep Dish Pizza Day. Well, what do you think? I'm supposed to be losing weight, not gaining it. Are you guys gaining weight? I'm gaining weight. I've already gained several pounds. My wife was commenting on that the other day. I got to get back into exercising. And Let's see. Oh, Mike says Dave Jackson, 15 years today. Is that true, Mike? Really? Dave Jackson, 15 years podcasting today? Dave's another friend of mine. Dave Jackson is a legend in the podcast space. And a friend of mine, and those of us who've been doing this for eons, we know Dave Jackson. We know who he is. We know of him. We know some. He's been around for a long time. Well, hey, you know what, Mike? Let Dave know. I'm going to toast him. I'm about to toast him on this stream right now. I'm going to say, here's to Dave Jackson. Dave Jackson runs a school of podcasting. And he also works for Libsyn, which, Mike, if you don't mind, a rival of Blueberry, the podcast hosting company, but they're friendly rivals. So, the Libsyn and Blueberry, they're both top-notch companies. And I'm friends with both Rob Greenlee and Todd Cochran, and many years, and. They're both well-established companies. Rob and Dave and Rob Walsh all work for Libsyn. Todd, of course, is the CEO of Blueberry, and these are both two top-notch companies. Tommy and I do business with both companies, and with our podcasts. And so Dave Jackson's 15 years today. Dave Jackson, he plays a mean guitar too. I have to say that. I did not know that up until a couple of years ago. I did not know that he was really that good at the guitar, but he does pretty well with that. Anyway, here's to Dave Jackson, 15 years today. Podcasting for 15 years. Here's to you. And you know what? I'm going to toast Dave again because he's just that kind of guy. Dave, here's to you. Happy anniversary. And let's see. My wife Cheese in the chat. She says no. Cheese in the chat. She says no. I think she's responding to my request for a deep dish pizza. I think I'm on thin ice on that one. I think I'm pushing it on that one. My wife, she is a wonderful cook. I'm not saying that, but yeah, I am. Okay. She is, though. She is an amazing cook, amazing chef. She's just amazing at a lot of things she does, everything she does, really. She's just an amazing person, and I love her dearly. And we've been married for, what is that? Gee, how long? I forgot now. 26 years. So, anyway, no deep dish pizza for no. Sounds like the soup Nazi, right? No deep dish pizza for you. So, 3D print. Mike says 3D printer. I don't know. Maybe I can print my own. Hey, there you go, Mike. Maybe I can print my own deep dish pizza with a 3D printer. I don't know if it'd be it. Well, you know what? There are food printers. That's right. There are 3D food printers, aren't there? Yeah, you can do 3D food printers now. Maybe that's what I need to do, is get myself a 3D printer and print my own deep dish pizza. It wouldn't be the same as Cheese. I'll say that. It wouldn't. She's one of a kind. Anyway, where were we here? I think we're gone through the national days. Here's another one. National Flash Drive Day. April 5th. I had no idea. Did anybody have any idea? National Flash Drive Day? Come on. Okay, now I tell you what. National Flash Drive Day. Okay, I mean I use flash drives. I do, and National Flash Drive Day. I'll drink to that, whatever. National Go for Broke Day. Take it to the limit. Go for broke. National Nebraska Day. National Nebraska Day. Okay. Nebraska is one of the great 50 states of the Union, so let's toast National Nebraska Day. Here's the National Nebraska Day. It's also National Raisin and Spice Bar Day. National Read a Roadmap Day. I'm not making this stuff up, folks. Go to National Day Calendar. National Day. Maybe I haven't had. Yeah. Okay. NationalDayCalendar.com. And tell Marlo I sent you. I don't get anything for it. Trust me, I don't. Just tell him I sent you. He'll get a kick out of it. National Read a Roadmap Day. I really, it's there. It's there. I'm reading it. I'm not reading the roadmap. I'm reading this. National Read a Roadmap Day. When was the last time anyone read a roadmap? Now, I used to read them a lot. I used to get lost a lot. Even in my native state of Florida, I would get lost from time to time. If you can believe that. And my wife can. I was one of those husbands, those guys that would get the roadmap out, and the stubborn guys that she would, the wife would give directions to, and they go, no, I know where it is, and they said, look at the roadmap. No, I know where it is, and then when I got lost, then she would hand me the roadmap. I used to call her my navigator, lovingly, of course. I didn't want to get hit. I didn't want to get smacked. Anyway, National Read a Roadmap Day. When was the last time we read a roadmap? I mean, it's funny. It wasn't really that long ago, was it? GPS has been with us, less than 20 years, I think. What, about 20 years now? And at least to the masses, pretty much. And up to that point, that's what everybody did. That's how you got around. Was you had a roadmap. Everybody had a roadmap in the glove compartment of the car. In fact, that was one of the main reasons for having a glove compartment in your car. It wasn't really so much for gloves. I don't know how many people actually used a glove compartment for gloves. I think most of us kept a lot of other crud in there. Everything but gloves. That's what I kept. I had everything in my glove compartment except gloves. But roadmaps, I had plenty of those. And some of them were really, really old and out of date. And you'd have to go out and get a new roadmap. And that was one of the things, if you're going to go on a trip, if my wife and I went on a vacation, we went on a road trip or something, one of the first things we'd have to do before we left is we'd have to go by the local AAA office or a local convenience store and pick up a roadmap for where we were going. And if we were traveling through a state we were not familiar with, we'd stop by the filling station and we'd pick up a roadmap. We'd buy a roadmap for that state. And it's funny, you got kids, if you're 20 years old or younger, you wouldn't even remember this. I know it's foreign to you. It's sort of like a dial-up, like a rotary dial-up phone, or like even a touch-tone phone. It's like, what the heck is that thing? But roadmaps were, that's how you did it. That's how you got around. So you had roadmaps, and these things were not little bitty maps. They're like you unfolded them, and they were like wider than the frame of this video. Wider than the frame of this video here. It's like they're huge roadmaps. You had to kind of navigate them, and you'd have little markers, and you'd mark stuff on it to kind of figure out where you're going. And now we have, and you'd read the road map and you'd turn it upside down or whatever and get lost because you weren't holding it the right way or looking at the wrong exit or whatever. Now we have GPS that guides us to all the wrong places. But GPS has not really been around that long when you think about it. And nowadays, I do everything with a GPS. We go on a trip. We went down to Orlando. Orlando, of all places. From Charlotte to Orlando, we drove 8 hours, about 8.5 hours. And my wife's looking at me like, why do you even need the GPS? You know where you're going. How many times have we made that trip to Orlando and back? We do the trip all the time, and I know how to get from Orlando to Charlotte and back down and back and forth. We lived in Orlando for 35 years, in Florida for 35 years. And we've lived in Charlotte for 12 years, and we've made numerous trips back and forth. I know how to go back and forth, but I still have to have the GPS on. Now, why is that? It's like a crutch of some sort. So I still have the GPS. My wife's saying, why do you even need a GPS? You know where you're going. But Except when I'm going uptown. I'm going up to town to Charlotte. I still use the GPS because my wife says, you don't know where you're going. Because I don't go uptown. Here's the difference. See, I go back and forth to Charlotte and Orlando and all these other places down south, all the time. But I do not like to go into uptown Charlotte. So when I go into uptown Charlotte, I always have the GPS on. Always. And I still get lost sometimes. Never... Orlando, I know like the back of my hand. Right, the back of my hand. But Charlotte, I never really, never really attached myself to the town. So I never really had an interest in learning my way around the town. So there are some places down here in South Charlotte that I know where I'm going and how to get there. But when I get up, up towards the uptown area, I'm totally lost because I don't go up there that much. I try not to. I try to avoid the area as much as possible. And then when I go up there, it's just it's stressful to drive up there. So I try not to do it. But so I always have the GPS, and that's what I'm used to. I grew up on printed paper maps. And here I am now, less than 20 years with GPS around, and I can't live without this GPS unit. It's I don't know what to make of that. It's kind of sad, actually. If we ever lose GPS and have to go back to paper maps, I think a lot of us are screwed. Don't you think? So anyway, should I go ahead and toast that day? Sure, let's toast National Read a Roadmap Day. Everyone should learn how. There is a trick to it. You have to learn how to read a roadmap. Trust me. There are a lot of symbols and a lot of things on there that you really, if you don't know what they mean, you're going to be more lost than if you'd not had one, pretty much. So here's National Read a Roadmap Day. And here's to National Geologist Day is first Sunday in April. There is one thing I want to get to real quick. And Mike, you could appreciate this. April 6th. Well, not this one, the next one. National Caramel Popcorn Day. I like caramel popcorn, but I can't eat it anymore. I just can't. New Beer's Eve. April 6th. Did you know that April 6th is New Beer's Eve? B-E-E-R. New Beer's Eve. I can drink to that. Let's drink to that. Mike, if you still have your beer, let's drink to that. Toast to New Beer's Eve. Here's to New Beer's Eve. New Beer's Eve. That's I like that. Now, okay, that one I like. Tiger Uppercut is in the chat. Hi, Tiger Uppercut. It's great to see you. And he says, Larry David. Do I look like Larry David? I'm kind of bald, but yeah. Let's see. Anyway, Mike says April 22nd will be 14 years married to my wife, Kathy Boonstra Dell. Well, Mike, happy anniversary. That's April 22nd, but I tell you what, come back in here. What's April 22nd? That's, let's see, that's 25th. That's Wednesday. So we'll toast that in the next week or two, and I'll toast you now, as a matter of fact. Happy anniversary to you both. 14 years, that's quite an achievement. It really is. Happy anniversary, I should say. And Mike says, first contact day for Star Trek Online kicks off in Bozeman, Montana, the same site where Zefram Cochrane launched the historic Phoenix. This is true. The first human warp-capable ship is Zefram a future relative of Todd Cochrane? We're seeing history unfold. Zefram a future relative of Todd Cochrane. That's a good one. I'm sure you have asked Todd about that before. I'm pretty sure. That's good. I like that. That's funny. Could be. You never know. I mean, the thing is about Star Trek is that they predicted a lot of the technologies that we have today. Okay, so we can't beam anybody around yet. Although they've been trying. from what I understand. But a lot of the technologies that they had in Star Trek, they have come true, since then. So who knows? Who's to say that maybe a future relative of Todd's becomes becomes the inventor of warp drive, the first human warp capable ship. Okay, I like that. That's good. So let's see, where was I? Oh yes, let's finish off these National April days. Let's see, New Beer's Eve is April 6th. National Sorry Charlie Day. Sorry, Charlie. Didn't know there was a national day for that, but okay. National Student Athlete Day, National Tartan Day, and National Teflon Day. National Teflon Day, stuff that just doesn't stick, just nothing sticks to Teflon, right? I was watching, it's funny because I was watching Chi and I were watching late night TV one night, and they had that commercial that comes on for the, was it a copper stick plate? And now they call it something else. I forgot what they call it, but it's like the still the same kind of copper-looking plate or the copper-looking pan, and they're showing off this pan and how nothing sticks to it, and you can burn cheese on it, and you can make souffles and whatever, s'mores on it and stuff like that. Nothing sticks to it, just slides right off. I kind of rolled my eyes at those things because from what I've heard, that those things work a few times, and then after a few uses, they're no good. But I don't know. I don't own one, so I can't say that for sure. Don't take my word for it. I'm just it's just stuff that I've read online, and of course, as we all know, everything on the internet is true, right? Or not. But National Teflon Day. Okay. Now, April 6th was New Beer's Eve, but April 7th is National Beer Day. National Beer Day. Okay, I've got a drink to that. National Beer Day, and it's National Coffee Cake Day. Now go figure. Beer and coffee cake, two great tastes that go great together. Sorry, Reese's. National Beer Day, National Coffee Cake Day, National Girl Me Too Day. I don't know. National No Housework Day. I'm all for that. And National SAAM Day of Action. That's the first Tuesday in April. I'll drink to those collectively. I don't know what SAAM Day is, but a day of action. But I'll let you research that. First Tuesday in April. So that's the national days. I think we got that pretty much covered this week. And Mike Dell says the iPad, they had that in 1986. You know what? Come to think of it, yes, they kind of did. They didn't call it an iPad, but it was a tablet. It was a tablet. They had it. Star Trek. We're talking about Star Trek now. Star Trek Technologies. Yeah, 1986. That was either what was that either the first Star Trek movie or it was in Generation, Star Trek Next Generation. I think they did. So here's what we're looking at here. I wanted to we got through the birthdays and the anniversaries and all that kind of stuff. I want to talk just for a moment for emergency weather radios. Now, Mike, of course, he's a ham, and so he knows this very well. But emergency radios, we have found that, and I think I mentioned this somewhat last week, that having a two-way radio around the house can be helpful if you're stuck in the house, especially if you have a COVID patient or whatever, a COVID-19 patient, to communicate at somewhat at a distance. It also comes in handy for a lot of businesses who are doing curbside service and service at the door and being able to communicate with other employees back and forth. Yes, and I have a Midland radio here, as a matter of fact. But the emergency weather radios, we have seen, by twowayradios.com, we have seen a huge uptick in emergency weather radios and consumer radios in general, like these kind of radios. Huge uptake since the pandemic on emergency weather radios. Not like the toilet paper per se, but huge uptake. And I can understand that. At first I was kind of wondering, well, why? But I can kind of understand that now. All we need is a double whammy, right? That's all we need. And we don't. We certainly don't need a double whammy. My sister she had talked about on Facebook earlier this morning that they had an earthquake, they had a tremor. I think it was a 3 on the Richter scale, 3.0, something like that. I think that's what she was saying. But they had an earthquake, I think, this morning, where she is in California, and which is not unusual. I mean, they get their tremors and stuff, but when you start getting quakes, the larger quakes is something that they kind of can start getting a little nervous about sometimes. But we had a tornado that ripped through. Where was it? Last week. That was in. I want to say it was Mississippi tornado, devastated. And we're talking about people who are stuck in their homes, and now there are some people who are homeless because tornado ripped through and destroyed their home. Right now, that all we need during this COVID-19 pandemic, that we don't need that. Okay, we don't need the COVID-19 pandemic to begin with, but on top of that, because April, the springtime, we've got all these weather events that generally happen anyway in the spring, tornadoes and we're approaching hurricane season too in a couple of months, June 1st, and we have all these other things, earthquakes and things like that, and an emergency weather radio, everyone should have one. Everyone should have one. That's just indispensable. I'll tell you what, if you've got a weather emergency on top of this stay-at-home thing, that's just that's taking a serious situation, even making it even more serious. So it's not that we have a shortage of them, but it's just that if you want to get one, it's probably a good time to get one now while you can. Fortunately, though, if you go to buy2airradios.com, you use the promo code WINESHOW, that's WINESHOW, you can get 5% off your order. And tell them Rick sent you, Drink with Rick. You get an extra 5% off your order if you go use the promo code WINESHOW. Now, I don't get anything of that. I get to keep my job. For full disclosure, I work for Buy2 Air Radios. Okay, I work for Buy2 Air Radios, the company, but I don't make any extra money doing this. It's just something that my boss said, here, offer your viewers and listeners a little bit, something a little bit extra for the weather radios, and so that's what we're doing here. I've got a weather radio, as a matter of fact, on my desk here, and usually you've seen the ER310. This is a different one. This is, I think we're actually onto these at the moment. This is another hand crank radio. This is a Midland radio, but it's also a GMRS radio. This is a multi-purpose radio with a flashlight and all kinds of cool stuff and USB ports. It has like 5 different power options on this thing. This is one we take with us. We take this and we take the ER310, which I've shown before, with us when we go on trips in the car. As a matter of fact, we took this down to Orlando. We took those down to Orlando with us on the trip, just in case we got stuck somewhere. We were able to. We had the emergency radio. That one has a built-in GMRS 2-way radio built into it. So it'll work with any other GMRS or FRS radio out there that you can communicate back and forth to for emergencies. So it's I've had it, and if it looks a little beat up, it's because I've had this radio for almost 10 years. So it's seen a lot of use. It's come in handy on a number of occasions too, and it's helped us out in a lot of emergencies, especially when we lost power. So it's a good radio to have, but. These emergency radio, we have 3 or 4 emergency radios in the house. I've got one on the wall downstairs next to my weather station. So then I am a weather spotter, So I do get on net sometimes, and I do weather. Get to call in some weather reports and stuff, and we have really bad weather situations. But then that was one of the reasons why we have the weather station. But also, I've always been interested in weather. It's always been fascinating to me. Anyway, I'm going off on another tangent, as I often do. That's what we do here on the wine stream, the Saturday Night Wine Stream, Drink with Rick. And how you doing, Tiger Uppercut? Hope you're doing okay. Tell me what you're drinking, or tell me what you'd like to be drinking, and let's share that together. Okay, so grapes. I was going to talk a little bit about. I will probably save it for next week because we're going a little bit long here. I was going to talk about Pinot Noir grapes. And we're going to do a little bit more about the grapes this week and give a little primer on what a Pinot Noir grape actually is. I'm actually going to save that for next week because we're going a little bit long, and we're going to have to close up here shortly because I did promise my wife that I would not do another 2-hour stream. Okay, I've done that a couple weeks in a row, so I'm not going to do another 2-hour stream. So we're going to cut that short, tonight. But I did want to mention that, we're going to cover the grapes. I do want to try to give away a copy of Start Ugly. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something a little bit different. Let's. This is the book I'm talking about. This is a book by Chris Krimitsos. Chris is a great guy. He's co-founder of Podfest, which we were down at Podfest 2020 back in March. A good friend and just great all-around guy, really nice guy. And he wrote a book late last year called Start Ugly, A Timeless Tale About Innovation and Change. And what this book is about, and actually if you want to see, I have a whole video review of this book on Amazon.com. The book is a very popular book on Amazon.com. I think he's sold out of a couple of printings on this already. But I have a video review of it on Amazon.com for him. And it basically covers what the book is about. This podcast, the podcast, because we do the podcast version of this as well. This live stream is a Start Ugly project. It really is. This live stream is a Start Ugly project where I just said, you know what, I'm going to do this. And I did it for 1 week, and then I went to Podfest 2019 and told some people about it, and they thought, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that, make it a regular thing. So when I got back from podcast, I said, okay, I'm going to make this a regular thing, but how am I going to start doing it? So I just started Ugly. I just went ahead and did it. What Start Ugly is about is about, if you have a dream or a pursuit, a business you want to start, an idea for something, and you don't know really, you're trying to wait for the right time, you're trying to wait for all the stars to align to make it happen, and that's not ever going to happen, really, theoretically. I mean, for all practical purposes, the stars are never lined up perfectly, so to speak, to use an astrology term, to make everything happen just perfect, so that everything is going to start off and it's going to be just great and you're going to be successful at everything you do. Most all entrepreneurs who started their businesses or started their, or realized their dreams and their ideas have started off just doing it. I mean, they do a little research. I mean, it doesn't mean you just jump into it and don't do a little planning. You plan it out a little bit. You come up with an idea. You come up with a vision. You set a goal for yourself. You develop a plan to get to that goal. But when you do that, it's like, well, how am I going to get there? Well, you just start. You start doing it. You don't worry about it. You start doing it and you tweak it as you go along. That's what this book's about. So many people, and like me, I've had a number of projects that I never did. I never started because I was afraid. It was that fear of failure, and it was that fear that I didn't know I was going in, didn't know what I was really 100% what I was doing, or that everything was going to be perfect when I started. I wanted everything to be just right, so there would be no glitches, and it would just everything would happen like clockwork, and it never happens that way. It never goes that way, first of all. But second, if you do that, if you wait for everything to be just right before you do it, it's not going to happen. You're never going to start. You're never going to start. And then someday you'll be on your deathbed going, one of my greatest regrets is I never did that one thing that I always wanted to do, and it just never happened because it never came together. Just the way I wanted it to come together. You don't want to be that person. You want to just do it. Like the old Nike ad. Just do it. Just start. You start and you get it going, and you perfect it. You tweak it up. You get it. You make it work along the way, and that's what this book is about. And it's a really cool book. It's a very easy read, very quick read, but and it tells a story. It does this in terms of a story. But it is a pretty awesome book. I like it. And I highly recommend it to anyone who has ever wanted to start anything. Doesn't matter if it's a business or a personal project or you want to start a garden or whatever it is you want to do. It doesn't matter what it is. If you ever want to start anything in your life and you're afraid of all the obstacles in the way, this book, you need to read this book. And this is what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give away a copy of this book. Now, it may not be tonight. It might be in the next week or so. It may be tonight, but I'm going to start this project tonight to give away this book. Now, this is what I'm going to do. Let me get back to my thing here. There we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a question. This question. What idea, project, or dream do you have but have put off starting or completing for one reason or another? This is the question that I have. What I want you to do, I want you to send me in the chat. If you're in the chat right now, and I was kind of hoping more people would be in the chat to do this. And Pete's joined us. Pete, it's good to see you. It's great to see you. Pete, my cousin. Join in. Tell me how you're doing. Tell me hi. Tell me how you're going. And, did I miss Tim? I thought I saw Tim in there, but Tim's in the chat too. Tim, if I missed you earlier, I apologize. I really apologize. I had a lot going on here. I was trying to cover everything and try to get out of here on time for my wife. I don't know if that's going to happen still, but we're going to cut it short here shortly. But Tim, I want to say thank you for joining me in the chat. Tell me how you're doing. Tell me how your daughter's doing. Tim's daughter is an Instagram influencer, and she does a fine job. And let me tell you something. That's one of those things where you start ugly. You start off, you just get in there and you start doing it. And you build up if you're an Instagram influencer, you build up your following as you go along. You start develop what you're doing as you go along and get it going. And then before you know it, that's how you achieve success really in the long run. But it's good to see you, Tim. And anyone else I missed here? Anyone else I missed in the chat? Let's see. Okay. Anyway, for Start Ugly, this is the question. This is what I'd like for y'all to do. And Mike, I know you know this stuff, and you're a success as well already. But hey, if you want to get in on this, sure, why not? Tim and anyone else, James, Pete, anyone else who wants to get in on this, Everett. Who else am I talking to here in the chat? Lanity, Tiger Uppercut. If there is anything that you've ever wanted to try, if you have an idea or project or dream that you have, but you've put off starting or completing it for one reason or another, that's the question. Tell me, send it to me. Send it to Rick at SavoyMedia.com. Send it to me, Rick at SavoyMedia.com. Or in the chat, just post it in the chat. You can do it now. You can do it later, after the fact. I do read all the comments. You can put it in the comments section on the website at drinkwithrick.com. Put it in here. We're going to run this for a couple of weeks. And then I'm going to pick somebody from that list, from the list of responses, and I'm going to give away a copy of this Start Ugly book. And please, this is well worth the read. Send me this thing, and once again, let me put it up here one more time. The question is, what idea, project, or dream do you have but have put off starting or completing for one reason or another? Give it to me. Send it over to me, and I will. I'll look through all of those, and someone will win this copy of Start Ugly by Chris Krimitsos. Okay? There is one more thing I want to do before we close up the stream, because it's just about time to close up. Before I close, there is an important PSA, public service announcement, for those of you who were wondering what that means. It's an acronym in the TV and radio business. I want to play this PSA for you now.
COVID-19, better known as coronavirus, has spread throughout the world. Symptoms of this respiratory disease may include fever, cough, and shortness of breath. These symptoms may show up 2 to 14 days after exposure. If you are experiencing these symptoms and have come into contact or are in an area with an ongoing outbreak, please call a hotline and/or consult with a physician. Clean and disinfect high-touch surfaces. For more information, please visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. Thank you.
All right. So I hope everyone could hear that, by the way. But, yeah, I think you could. I've got the delay on, so you could hear that. Wasn't talking over myself like I did last time. That kind of confused me a little bit. Anyway, I think it's time to close up the stream tonight. Of course, once again, just a recap, to do a quick recap, we have been drinking this Salmon Creek 2016 California Pinot Noir, 12.5% alcohol by volume in this 750 milliliter bottle, which is actually close to being empty at this point. So it's actually a pretty decent wine. There is some I tasted some fruits in it. Some red, some red fruit, some red cherry. I did taste some blackberry in there as well, and I tasted a little bit of chocolate and vanilla at the beginning, but chocolate later. And it's slightly tannic. It's not overly tannic. Okay, if you don't like a lot of tannins, super dry, it's okay. It's a dry wine, and I prefer dry reds actually, but. If you don't like super dry wines, this is actually okay. This is kind of mild tannins in it, kind of a medium acidity. It's not too bad. It's pretty decent. It didn't go that well with the fried chicken that I tried, but it did go pretty well with the turkey pepperoni. It went well with the cheese, the cheddar from Hickory Farms. This was the Colby Jack. I don't know where that came from. Kraft or somewhere. Didn't try it with the crackers. Oh, there is one more thing I want to do, and I did promise I was going to do this at the very beginning. The dessert, right? Okay, this is what I have, and there's one more giveaway that I want to do. All right, what I have here, you recognize this? Anyone recognize what this is? Come on, you recognize what this is, right? Hopefully you recognize what this is. This is, for those of you who don't know, this is a Girl Scout cookie. This is a Thin Mint. Thin Mints. I have a box. I bought 4 boxes of Thin Mints from my niece, Amanda, who's a Girl Scout, and she sells these things every year. I bought 4 boxes of them. I wasn't supposed to eat any of them. I was not supposed to touch any of them, but I did eat some myself. I took a box to work, which my coworkers devoured. Thank you very much. We had a box that we ate at home. I had a second box that I opened, and we actually ate about half of that. I have one more box that has not been opened, and I'd like to send it to you if you want it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try the Thin Mint. I love Thin Mints. I love these things, and it's very bad because I've already gained a lot of weight from this stay-at-home thing. Chocolate typically goes good with red wine. Any red wine. Typically with any red wine. We're going to try it with a thin mint. See how it goes. And I love thin mints. These are great. No. Chocolate and mint. Mint chocolate. If there is anything that should go good with a Pinot Noir, it's mint chocolate. I have to do this one more time. I have to try it one more time. Inconclusive. Try one more time. I like it. It's okay. You know what's good, Mike? Mike says mint and chocolate should never go together. Yuck. You know what, though? What goes great together? Reese's. You like Reese's? Mike, you like Reese's? Reese's are the chocolate and peanut butter. Who knew? I love Reese's. Some people don't like it. Like some people don't like mint and chocolate. I guess, Mike, you don't like mint and chocolate. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Reese's, though, Reese's are good. I don't know that this is something that I don't know if I would try. I've wanted to try Reese's with a couple of these wines because a lot of red wines go great with desserts. Now, of course, a couple of weeks ago we tried it with my wife's cheesecake, strawberry cheesecake, and it was great. It was just absolutely great with the strawberry cheesecake. It had an Oreo cookie crust. But, and it does. I mean, red wine, it typically goes pretty well with chocolates and with other desserts. I have never tried it with a Reese's. And for the reason for that is because of the peanut butter aspect of it. I don't know that it would go well with peanut butter, but that's an experiment. Maybe we can try, maybe next week. How about next week we try it out? I'll bring in a couple of Reese's and we'll try it and see if it goes good with the wine, just as a fun experiment. I mean, hey, we're all stuck at home. Got nothing better to do, right? Except drink and eat Reese's. So we'll try it out. Mike says, sure. Mike, so you like Reese's. Okay, I'll tell you what, next week we're going to do that test. We're going to test out Reese's. We're going to try some Reese's with a bottle of wine. And next week for the wine, I'm not sure exactly, 100% sure what we're going to try, but we're going to try. I have a few wines that I have on the roster. I don't remember right offhand what we've got, but we got a couple we're going to try. Anyway, I want to thank you for being with me on the chat tonight. I want to thank you for joining me on the wine stream. It's time. It's definitely time to close it up. When I start mixing my merds up, that's time to close up. It's time to close up the stream. So I want to thank my good friends Everett. I want to thank Pete and Mike and Chi and Tim and let's see who else I got here in the stream. I want to thank Alanity and Tiger Uppercut. I want to thank you for joining me tonight on the Saturday Night Wine stream. Please join me every night. Please, I also want to remember, did I miss anybody? I hope not. I didn't want to miss anybody here. Was Marlo in here? No, maybe not. No, James Jerome. Thanks everybody for joining me in the chat. I want to remind everyone, please do not drink and drive. And to be honest, come on, let's put this on the table right away. If you are abiding by the public service announcement that I played earlier, you should not be out driving anyway. So do not drink and drive. Drink from the comfort and safety of your home, especially in these times, and hotel room or apartment, or wherever you are. Please do not drink and drive. Do not text and drive. That's a pet peeve of mine. Do not text and drive. But once again, if you're home, you shouldn't be out driving anyway, right? except if you really, really have to. I want to I want to ask everyone, please, to be careful, be safe. I mean, these are some difficult times that we're experiencing. I think in our lifetime, I don't think anyone in our lifetime or in the last couple of generations has experienced anything like this before. And I'm talking specifically about the COVID-19 virus pandemic. This is a time to be extremely careful. From what I understand, we're approaching the next couple of weeks are going to be very, very serious for the country, for the whole world. We can get through this. We will get through this. Just have to keep the faith. We will get through this. But we just have to be very, very careful, very mindful of everything, and just stick to the rules. Stick to the rules and just stay home and we'll get through this. We'll write it out. We'll get through this. We've got to believe that, right? And and I will reiterate my commitment to you that as long as I can, as long as I am able to do so, I will commit myself to doing this wine stream every week, every Saturday night, to make sure everyone is okay, to kind of take the edge off of this, okay, to make sure that we're all right and we can lean on each other and help each other during this trying time. So that's my commitment to you. So anyway, having said that, I want to thank you for being with me here tonight in the chat. And of course, if you know the podcast, we do the podcast version of this, the audio only version of this, that goes up on Mondays at 10 p.m. Eastern. That's Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. So you can catch the videos here later on Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. But you can also contact me, rick@savoyamedia.com, for any reason whatsoever. Contact me at rick@savoyamedia.com and I will respond. Anyway, once again, thank you for being with me tonight. I do appreciate you. I really do. And I want you to be safe. Please stay safe during this next week. So you can join me here again next week on the Saturday Night Wine Stream. And we can all get together and drink with Rick. Good night.